Some of the people you love, you're going to have to let go. Not because they hurt you, but because your season changed and they didn't. Most people will call that cold. I'm calling it discernment. This is Discernment and Boundaries, episode 5 of The Complete You, the Jamie London Clay Show. And by the end of it, you're going to know the difference between walking away out of hurt and walking away out of wisdom.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into the feeling. Let's get into the feeling.
You are tuned in to the Soulful Sanctuary frequency, where disruption does not get the last word. Come to rebuild, transform into wholeness, and become who you were always meant to be. This is the Jamie London Clay Show, an anthology of teaching, impartation, commentary, and song. 5 distinct voices, 1 frequency. Tune in. Welcome to The Complete You, the teaching heart of this show, built from my book, The Complete You, a guide for whole person healing through life's disruptions. This is where the framework comes off the page and into your actual life. This is not motivation, not another quick fix. It is a whole person, rebuilt spirit, soul, and body working in the same direction at the same time. I'm Jamie London Clay, and this is The Complete You. This one required real discernment for me, not paranoia, but discernment. Because oftentimes you have to make sure that the reason why you're doing what you're doing is solid or gives you peace, or you're not doing it from an ill place. You may be simply just doing it for you. And oftentimes in certain periods of our life, certain seasons of our life, it has to be all about you in order to get you out of the thing that disrupted your life in the first place. Part of focusing in on you will require a period of separation from others. People you may care about, people it's been a long time coming. Some of it isn't even people, but it may be things and places you need to step away from for a period of time that causes, you to create a boundary. A boundary that can no longer be ignored, that you feel compelled to implement. We tend to think boundaries only exist for the people who hurt us. Sometimes the truth is quieter than that. Nobody did anything wrong. The relationship didn't do anything wrong. The season simply changed, and you're the one still operating like it hasn't. That's not betrayal necessarily. That's growth, asking you to disengage from what your current season no longer requires. The Complete You segment is structured teaching from the Whole Person Development Framework in my book, The Complete You, a guide for whole person healing through life's disruptions. This is episode 5, Discernment and Boundaries. Every episode takes one piece of that framework and makes it usable in your actual life and not just something you write down in a journal. I am Jamie London Clay, identity instruction guide, prophetic teacher, truth bringer, and singer. I help people rebuild their identity, purpose, and life after disruption and collapse through spirit-led truth and whole person development. This one is for the person who has been called too sensitive, too much, for noticing what everyone else ignored. For the one who stayed in rooms longer and long after their spirit tapped him on the shoulder and said, it's time to go. This is for the person rebuilding their life who keeps rebuilding it around the same people who helped tear it down the first time or who helped sustain it once upon a time. The rebuilding starts from the inside out. The problem is growth isn't only what you build. It's what you finally refuse to keep tolerating. And it's what you're no longer allowed to tolerate either, even when nothing dramatic happened to justify it. A relationship shifts, a purpose you carried for someone was only ever meant for a time. The things you used to do for others may no longer be assigned to you. That's not always a verdict on the person. Sometimes it's simply the completion of an assignment. This is not a crossing into a whole new season of your life. It's a boundary forming inside the season you're already in. Learning the difference when to release someone completely and when to adjust your proximity simply is where discernment does its real work. My favorite scripture or favorite book of the Bible is the book of Ecclesiastes. And there's a scripture that says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. That's Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, first verse. In other words, nothing you're feeling right now is random. There is an appointed time for what you're carrying and an appointed time for what you're releasing. And sometimes releasing it doesn't require a conversation or an announcement at all. Just an exit. A quiet reposition. Presence removed. No explanation owed. Your discomfort isn't dysfunction. It just may be timing. Boundaries are not rejection. And sometimes they are. And that's allowed to be true too. Either way, they are self-respect in action, and they require unapologetic solutions and decisions, not just something you talk about and never actually enforce. Discernment is wisdom rooted in God, shaped by attention and pattern recognition. It's the ability to name what's actually happening in a relationship or a season without inventing threats that aren't there, and without letting it harden it into offense or resentment. And here's why I want to walk you through this in 3 parts, because discernment without practical application just stays a feeling. And these are what it looks like when it actually moves. Point 1, recognizing manipulation and gaslighting. Manipulation rarely announces itself. It shows up as guilt dressed as concern. Someone rewriting a conversation until you're the one apologizing. Gaslighting goes further. It makes you doubt what you saw with your own eyes and felt in your own spirit. And here's what I need you to hear. Everything doesn't need to be confronted. That was a lesson I had to learn. Everything doesn't need to be confronted. Some things just require a change in your own behavior, a change in what you allow. You don't need anyone's permission to make that adjustment. You can simply stop without a meeting about it. Point 2, protecting your energy. Do what calms your nervous system. What gives you peace of mind and a feeling of safety at the end of the day, regardless of how anyone else feels about your decision to protect yourself the way you choose. Not everyone who wants access to you deserves it. Some belong in your inner circle. Some belong further out. Some, for this season only, require actual distance. Point 3, identifying repeating patterns. If the same kind of hurt keeps resurfacing across different relationships, different seasons, or rooms, the common denominator isn't bad luck or even the other person. It's a pattern still running underneath your decisions. Monitoring your own patterns, honestly, without shame, is how discernment gets sharpened over time instead of staying abstract. You have to know what it is to operate in divine intelligence. This is the difference between reacting and discerning. Divine intelligence doesn't need drama to know what to release. It simply knows, and it moves in peace without needing everyone else to understand or agree first. Take this moment to reflect. Ask yourself honestly, who strengthens my alignment and who quietly destabilizes my peace? What does this season require me to release? And who does it require me to release? What kind of season am I actually in right now? Ask yourself those questions. Be honest and transparent with yourself. This is the same governance that the Complete You teaches in Chapter 8 on healing through community. You don't owe everyone equal access to your most vulnerable spaces or your most vulnerable seasons, even if you did before. And you don't need them to agree with the shift or like it. And here's the truth. You can love certain people and still have to let them go. The vibe isn't right anymore, or it changed, or you changed. And it's a shift you can't keep ignoring just to protect their feelings. You still have love for them. Things are just different now, and different is allowed to be true without becoming a whole conversation. That's not the failure of love. That's the wise stewardship of it. It's maturity. Real love was never proven by how much access someone had to you. It's proven by how honest you stayed while deciding what was actually healthy to sustain. Please leave here knowing this. Discernment is not a gift reserved for a few people with a special sense about things. It's available to you the moment you stop needing everyone to understand your decisions before you make them. You already know more than you're giving yourself credit for. That unsettled feeling you keep explaining away, that's not a confusion at all. That's your spirit telling you something your mouth hasn't yet caught up with. Practice trusting it. Practice acting on it without a committee meeting first. Boundaries built on discernment don't need to be loud to be real. They just need to be consistent. You are not required to keep proving your loyalty to people or patterns that never questioned their access to you. Discernment is not the loss of your softness. It's the protection of it, rooted not in fear, but in the wisdom of God. So tell me in the comments where you're practicing discernment right now in your life. I do read every single one. And if this teaching helped you or inspired you in any way, get the full framework in my book, The Complete You, a guide for whole person healing through life's disruptions. It's available on my website at jamielondоnclay.com. Also available on Amazon in all formats, except audio. I'll get to it. But if not, you just want to sign up for my newsletter, at least do that for me so you never miss a teaching. All of the links will be in the description. That's it for Discernment and Boundaries. This is The Complete You, a guide for a whole person healing through life's disruptions to empower the body, soul, and spirit. Thank you again for tuning in to the Jamie London Clay Show. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notifications so you don't miss what's next. This is your Soulful Sanctuary frequency, the Jamie London Clay Show. Follow for more empowerment and more soulful frequency every week. And make sure You check out the other segments that make up the Jamie London Clay Show. The Crossing, The Complete You, that's this segment, Jamie Unfiltered, Dear Jamie, and Lady Soul. I'll see you in the next one. This is the Soulful Sanctuary frequency, the Jamie London Clay Show, where disruption does not get the last word. Keep building, keep crossing, keep being who you were always created to be. You tuned in? That means something. Thank you for being here. I mean that.